Not yet?
Yep, it's all good.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I merged a lot of tools together to have one tool to create the road that will understand how far it is from the ground, when it is going through the mountains or anywhere we want to create a tunnel. So it will create it automatically.
Yeah.
So it's actually what I have here is terrain here. Okay, it's a simple terrain.
Yep.
And I've created some splines here. Okay, like this.
Nice.
And what I'm doing is creating from that will be the same thing that we will do in Unreal. It's just that I have to do this way because we are here in Houdini. But I create an instance of the tool.
Yeah.
And it requires to plug in road. So I put main road here. Okay, there you go. It creates the road. And you can plug in the terrain, and it will automatically understand the distances and give you a lot of different options on how you want to manipulate both the road, the pillars, and the tunnels. The tunnels require to be calculated here.
Yep.
So they need to be edited, but every tunnel has its own. Wait, this is this one. Okay, its own parameters.
Yep.
Okay, so that let me put this away. Okay, here it is. So that you can change it as much as you want. You can rotate. You can change the shape of the cross section.
Yep.
You can actually change everything you want. What is happening here is that with Erin, we found this solution which is much better, but requires some work later on for the environment. And the best thing to do when creating tunnels is to actually hide the faces of the terrain where it is crossing the terrain. Okay, so it's to be refined here a little bit. But this enables for faster calculation, faster creation. We just have to put a little prop here around just that to cover it, or we can find another solution, but I have to think about what we can do actually.
Okay, cool.
So every tunnel is editable. Okay, we have all the each one is divided from the rest, and we can decide whether we want the road to stick to the terrain. There is an option. Okay. And it will stick to terrain like this. You can decide with the settings which is the maximum distance at which it will stick, so that you can define whether you want everything to stick to the terrain.
Yep.
So this way, everything. You don't have pillars. You don't have everything. For the pillars, also you can change the smoothness of the road, because you see here.
You don't want to have those big steep bits. Eh?
Yeah, exactly. You can also change the resolution here. You can just, a bit more here. You see, you can, by increasing the smoothness, you can like this. You can try to avoid those steep angles.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the pillars, now you see a distance because I was working a little bit on them, but you can change like the minimum pillar height to decide whether you want it everywhere. There is you see here there's no pillars, but if you decrease it, you get the pillars also there. You can decide whether you want which is the minimum length of the segment, in which, for example, here for this length is a minimum, and you can set so that if it's less than that minimum, you won't create those pillars. So you see, I increase this, you don't have it anymore. You can change the spacing. You can have it more dense pillars. You can close them together up like this.
Nice.
You can do whatever you want with those pillars, and then I will put the chance to change these from cylinders to whatever we want, what kind of asset we want.
Excellent.
And then for the road shape itself, we can decide what everything updates automatically. So if I put road width 20, also the tunnels are updated immediately. Mm-hmm. The resolution I can change here. I don't know if you can see here, but yeah, we can actually increase the resolution So what we can do by increasing the resolution of the road, we can change the profile of the road.
Yeah. Amazing.
So that we can do whatever we want with it. If we want like input like this, and we have a profile like this, you see,
Very
which is not
nice.
straight. We can do increase it at the end or decrease it.
Which is exactly what I was suggesting we would be able to
Yeah,
do. Maybe we could add the ramps on the side, so we can already do this for the
yeah.
rig.
You can do like this, and you can do both sides so that you have like this, and you have. You cannot make half pipe yet. Sorry, yeah, you can make some kind of half pipes, but only with the basement pointing in the negative y direction.
And
So down.
is that global for the entire road, or is that just for individual sections of the road?
At the moment, it's for the global, but
Okay.
yesterday I found a way to make it dependent on where we want the road. But if you want to change, like for example, the profile in a certain point of the road, we can do that.
Awesome.
I've just implemented it. And one thing that could be useful for actually for the artist, I created these working areas so that if you want, for example, to increase the road width in a certain point, you can decide, like, just to show you what I'm talking about, maybe
Oh yeah.
too much, but I can move this area where I want.
Yep.
So that, for example, okay, in the end, I want it to be wider.
Yep. One section. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, and you can change it like, I mean, oops. You can do it in different ways. With the midpoint, you can reverse it so that you get increased. It's a higher. It's a scale. Now it's breaking a little bit, but you can decide whether you want from the start to, so the beginning is small and the end is higher. You can reverse it anytime you want, or you can do it constant so that our whole section is increased in dimension. Also, when it increases dimension, also the pillars increase in dimensions so that it can sustain a higher weight. And yeah, actually, what else I can show you?
There was another system that I saw online which was for the width of the roads, and they also used the same system for the width of rivers. And it was actually at any section, rather than having this slider where you're able to choose which part of the road you're changing the width.
Yep.
It was kind of like at every single moment, at every single point of the road or the river, you could just choose exactly how long the lines were. Is that a similar system, or is this a
Yeah,
bit more?
actually, I took it from the thing of Guerrilla Games for
Okay.
Horizon Zero Dawn, which what it does is taking the. Let me show I can show you this. Yeah, I can do this. Okay, so this is actually the curve.
Yep.
But what you're doing with that is that. Let me take the parameters here. Okay. So what you're doing is actually taking a piece. You see that a bit
Yep.
is changing the color. You're taking a piece of that, and then you are changing attributes where this area is highlighted.
Okay.
So, for example, you can take this part and you can move, but you can also move it
So
in.
does that mean that you can create instances or multiples of that parameter and then have different widths along the road?
Yeah, you can add another one, like I'm doing right now, and
Okay.
you like, for example,
Perfect.
if I show you the road, like let me show you like this. Okay. So I have this one. Let me put it in the beginning so that you can see it. Okay. So you see
Yep.
here increasing, and then I create another area, a bit longer and up along the curve, which another two. You see here, and I can
Yep.
move just this one and keep the other one where I want it to be. So there are no problems.
Very nice.
Okay. So we can have complete customization of everything.
Excellent.
Eventually,
So
if we need something more, if we need something different to create for more specific, we will do it once we find that we need that. Because
yeah,
there are obviously things that are not coming to my mind right now that we can put. But yeah, probably let's wait when we put it all together and see what we have to change.
cool. So I guess that one of the next steps will be to add in some more decorative props that we can generate procedurally, such as railings and tunnel sections and all sorts of other stuff, right?
Yeah, actually, we have. There is the, where is it? Yeah, the scanner one. I can put the main road here. Okay. Well, I was not refining this one. Yeah, I didn't touch it later today, so maybe things changed and it broke right now, as I'm seeing. Probably delete. Yes, you can actually, as I maybe show you another time, you can create as many scatter of assets as you want. You can replace it with as many assets as you want, and you can move them like here.
And will that work for the railings, which would all obviously be joined together, and you'd be able to choose like how long a railing is positioned along the side of the road?
Well, you can decide the spacing between an asset and the other one. So
Okay.
that in this way, if you know that the railing will be 15 meters, for example, you
Yeah.
place one every 15 meters so that you don't have them overlap. But once I rework this with the work, sorry, to the with the reworks that I made to the other tools today, it will be working also with the rails with anything we want. So there should be no problems for that.
Cool. Do you have assets that you can use, or have you found assets that you can use from either?
Yeah, I took the assets from yeah, it's my computer just freeze. Okay, assets from the things that you gave to me
Oh, nice.
for the assets, and I was playing with those the other day. So yeah,
Amazing.
we have everything.
Cool. Wow, this is awesome, man. It's going to look really, really good when it's when we actually have some, unique assets along the side to decorate it. It's going to look
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah, we have to customize it a little bit more. That because now it's just a road, but it's getting the basis for anything we want to do. So that's the initial hard part of creating those tools. That they have no soul in the beginning, but they have the legs to walk along the road. So
Yeah, yeah, cool.
it takes a little bit of time. I'm happy because I looked on the internet for the things that you sent me, also for that guy that sent you that file,
Yep.
uh, um, and I've seen that they made the tool in 2 months and a half. So I think that we are at a great point right now, just a
Excellent.
month.
Yeah, it's really good.
So we are moving really fast. I'm happy about this. I'm really happy
Cool.
about it.
Me too, man. It looks really good. It looks really versatile, and I think that this is going to be something they're going to be working on all the time. I was watching one of the videos today about Insomniac Games and how they were using Houdini to create the world for Spiderman. And they
Yeah,
said creating the perfect tool will take an infinite amount of time because you're always going to be tweaking it and adding new
yeah.
functionality. So I think that yeah, it's a really really good start, and I know that we're going to be working on this for a while until we have like a really really dynamic system that we can use to create the decimated world, and also other games as well. Like we could use this for other things, not just decimated. So yeah, this is really really cool. Also,
Yeah.
I've been speaking to some 3D artists, so that if we're using placeholder assets in the meantime, later on we can have UVs created for those assets and maybe even have them retopologized and optimized for Unreal. But you can already plug this into Unreal Engine and test it out. Is that right?
Yeah, you can do it. You just have to create a spline in a real engine, plug it here, like
Yeah.
with the one that I created before, and then it just works.
And all
Whatever.
the parameters will all be inside Unreal Engine in that case.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, everything will be on the side here on the right where there are all the parameters. But
yeah,
yeah, you can do it in Unreal already. Probably there are some things that need to be seen again, but I think that from Monday I will start working on this more on Unreal to see all the bugs that can come out.
yeah,
And I think that we can, let's say, start using it in a more, let's say, definitive way, at least for the bases that are completely working. By the end of next week, it's gonna be probably ready. So
excellent. So yeah,
the
we've upgraded to Unreal 4.25.1. So there'll be plenty of kind of like desert canyons that you'll be able to use as a landscape material, which it'll have all of the terrain layers, so that then if your height map has cliffs, for example, then it'll change the material to rocks. And if you have a flat surface, then it'll be more sand or gravel or something like that. So you don't need to do any texture work. You just need to plug in the height map you're importing from Houdini into Unreal, and it should work. But there's the height map that I sent you over on Slack, which should work, and it's quite a cool like canyon, and it's like nice and flat, and it has these kind of canyons that we could zoom through. And what I'm thinking is, rather than having lots of windy roads that are going to change height and stuff like that, that we'll have roads that would just be plowing right through the landscape, as if they don't even care anymore about the landscape. They just want to just drill through it, much like the motorway going from Germany to Italy, for example. The autobahn to the Superstrada is just like one road going right through the Alps. So we should do something like that as well. And we can obviously be really creative and have lots of turns. But I didn't want to have, like in Grip and Wipeout, how they have really, really steep areas of the road, which obviously they're using anti-grav vehicles and it's like roll cage, whatever. But we want to try and have kind of natural landscape with a road that kind of is just going through it like without any care for the natural environment. So we can play around with lots of different height maps, and I think that a desert canyon would be a really, really good start. And I think that if you're using height maps like this one, to throw some erosion on it as well, so it looks more natural, like mountains, and then we could just, because obviously the map is going to have lots and lots of different biomes, and we're going to have mountainous areas, we're going to have desert areas, and so we can experiment with all the different height maps that we can generate, and then see what it looks like. So
I will try now that I have come to a good point with the roads. I will try the thing of the height map. I was already here doing some games with I don't know if you can see that, but there is some. Where is it? No, I can take it from here, but there you go. You see?
I've seen the butterfly before, yeah.
Yeah, so I will plug in the height field later on, and I'll try to understand how to take it out already in Houdini, so that
and that you can generate or export height maps from one of those terrain websites that I sent. Yeah, and Nick has also been using Gaia as well, which is really, really useful. So I mean, I know that we can generate height maps directly in Houdini, but we can also use a lot of real world references as well. And then later on as well, we could also use real map data and put that into Houdini, so that we can have the roads and then the buildings automatically generated from the systems that we create. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. We had to take the height field and define some areas where you said you want to create some different biomes.
Yeah.
And there is actually, I'm talking with Erwin because the other day I saw a video. Let me see if I can grab it somewhere. What's the name of it? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this was made actually from a student, a Erwin student. I found it here, so that's why I decided to. Okay, let's talk with Erwin and ask him some questions. But this
is really, really good. Yeah, really, really nice.
This is actually main. You will see now. These are the things that we're gonna have to.
Yeah, because we want to have everything. I think that after watching a lot of these videos, it's going to be 80% procedural content and 20% is going to be done by the artists. So we're going to do all of the setups. We want to create everything like this, so the artists are able to use these systems to generate content on the fly. I mean, wow, if you've got this guy advising, then that's really amazing,
Yeah, I talked with him like right now. He was writing to me while we were at this call.
Where's he based?
I think he's in France. He's in Paris, probably working for Ubisoft. So
he's working at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Maybe you can come and work with us in the future. Who knows?
but it's a good advice from a guy that works in user.
That's really
That's
good because
great.
that's exactly where I've been getting most of the inspiration from for all this stuff is seeing what they did with Ghost Recon Wildlands and Far Cry 5,
Yeah,
and I think that Ubisoft have obviously got a good 8 to 10 years head start upon us, but if we're getting these kind of systems now up and running and set up for all this the landscapes, the roads, the buildings, then however long it takes us to get Decimated out, at least we're going to have all the tools to be able to make amazing worlds and make amazing games. So
yeah, yeah. We will have the basis to create anything. I mean, if it whatever happens with Decimated, we will always have those tools that we can eventually reuse them for
yeah,
anything else, any other game, or that game for any
definitely.
kind of stuff they want to do.
I think as well that if we're able to create uh, tools like these and show them to the investors and say, look, we're making progress on the game, we're making progress in the gameplay, and we're also making a lot of progress with our procedural systems. And you can see here we've got advisors from all these AAA game studios. Give us the money so that we've got the freedom to be able to push this as far as we can, and as
Yeah,
fast as we can as well. We can ramp up the team and yeah, and just be super productive, and we don't have to do everything internally. We can also outsource a lot if we've got all the systems internally that help us to be able to procedurally generate these worlds. There's loads of partners that we can use to say, look, we're using all of these placeholder props for our roads and our buildings and stuff like that, and we just need you guys to make them look really sci-fi and really cool.
yeah,
Honestly, within a month, we could have something that looks just like placeholder assets to like a really, really nice polished environment.
yeah.
Really, really quick because it's all modular. All they have to do is focus on creating all the individual components. If we only have let's say 50 individual components that need to be redone, that could be done in a month. So
Yeah, and once we get to the point where we can actually plug in just modular components, we can work on the details of those modular components and then plug them together, and we get fascinating things, and with a minimal work from specific artists.
yeah. So also another thing that I'm doing right now is I'm looking for 3D artists that can come and work with us in-house in Malta. So
Yeah,
then you'll have somebody that can optimize models for you while you're working on these systems, and also create original assets so that we don't always have to outsource everything. We will have to outsource in the long term, but I think
yeah.
it'll be handy for us to have somebody that can just focus on textured 3D assets that we can plug into Houdini so we can iterate faster and make it look better faster.
Actually, uh, I can propose you this. Do you remember the girl that I told you like a couple of months ago that could be great for me as a 3D artist and procedural, sorry, material
Yeah,
artist?
yeah, yeah.
She actually made she's working with sci-fi stuff right now.
Cool.
Uh, Maybe I can show you something immediately so that let me get there. You see, this is a procedural material.
Okay.
It's all made procedurally, and we can eventually use those things to. I said them. All right, I said you are creating sci-fi procedural materials. I can talk with Steve if he's interested. But
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
as I told you before months ago, she's really great. Eventually, if you wanna consider her.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'll check out her portfolio again, and I'll you know
sure.
have
I,
a look.
the thing that I know is probably as she has the same experience that I have. Um, I think we're doing good right now. There's always better to do, but yeah, she's great also from a mental point of view. The way she approaches the work she does,
Cool.
just that.
All right, yeah, nice one. I mean, I guess if we have plenty of visual references and style guides and mood boards, then I could probably um, give her a test to do and see what she could create in a kind of like cyberpunk sci-fi desert environment, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
all right, nice, cool.
Thank you.
Um, So yeah, I've recorded all this, and I'm going to post it privately on YouTube, and just share it with the Patreon followers and people on Discord. Um, and maybe next time we could also try talking on Slack, because the resolution isn't really high here when we're using Discord. I think that it's like 360p or 480p or something like that, so it's a bit pixelated. But can you also stream video on Slack?
I don't know. Let me see. But I think no, actually.
Maybe not.
Yeah, but it seems not.
Maybe we could try Zoom instead.
I don't know if Zoom is working great for this, but I don't think so. Zoom is great for streaming.
I think it's pretty good, because you can also, I can set up the Zoom call to be suitable for video, and it's not like we need to have really amazing frame rates here. We just need to have really good resolution.
Okay,
That's the
okay,
most
it's good.
important thing. So we'll do that next time. Let's have a Zoom call next time. We can have a Zoom call next week with Nick, actually. After you've made some more progress, maybe you've added some prop detail and stuff like that. Whatever you're going to do next. Yeah, and then we can. And obviously, the higher quality the videos are, then the more people are going to watch it and like it. And
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
follow us.
Okay, we will make it with a better quality next time. Okay.
Cool, man. Okay, nice work. Have a
Thank
good weekend.
Thank you.
I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.
Catch you back later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.